Now on 4 News Now at 6, high inventory and overvalued. We'll break down the latest numbers to see if Spokane's housing market bubble is going to burst.
The second full week of fall is coming to an end, but the summer weather is sticking around. I'll let you know if it's going to last through the weekend in your first alert forecast.
Get moving or get out. Officials agree that something needs to be done about Washington's largest homeless encampment. We'll explain why SPD says Camp Hope needs to be cleared out. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
The housing market is beginning to cool off in Spokane. There are more houses available and the prices are starting to drop. This is partially because of rising interest rates, which are now above 7% in Washington.
Some experts are now predicting that overvalued housing markets like Boise's and Spokane's will experience a dramatic drop-off in prices as more houses become available. KXLY's Jordan Smith joins us in studio now to explain what that means and how likely that really is to happen. Jordan.
Well, it's no secret that Spokane is home to one of the most overvalued housing markets in the country, along with Coeur d'Alene. You can see Boise up there as well, and other western cities. And there's a lot of factors at play that have made some feel hopeful that this bubble is ready to burst. But based on what I learned today, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Spokane's once red-hot housing market has begun to cool off. Rising interest rates have kept prospective buyers at bay, and closed sales have begun to drop off. This past September, there were 30% less home sales than in September of 2021. Bidding wars that saw offers soar tens of thousands of dollars over the asking price have dramatically dropped in frequency.
In May of this year, 69% of homes were selling above asking price. Right now, we're seeing about 36% of homes selling above asking price.
The combination of rising interest rates, a growing inventory, and a decline in home purchases is making some hopeful that home prices will begin to drop off and cause Spokane's housing bubble to burst. But economist Steve Peterson says don't get your hopes up.
I don't see if people are waiting for dramatic declines in housing prices. I think they're in for a long haul.
One of those reasons is basic supply and demand. Because while the amount of houses available is growing, it's not near high enough to level out pricing.
An average or a balanced market, which is balanced between sellers and buyers, or seller's market and a buyer's market, is around 5 to 6 months. Right now, we're seeing about a 2.5 month inventory.
But how did inventory get this low to begin with? Peterson says it starts back in 2007 during the Great Recession. It was a time period that put many contractors out of work, causing the building of homes to be put on hiatus for several years.
There was a lack of inventory, lack of homes being built for 10 years. And then all of a sudden demand caught up somewhere around 2016. Demand recovered fully.
And 4 years later, that shortage was amplified by the pandemic, which halted construction of homes even further, which furthered the problem. On a positive note, though, Professor Peterson does think that these prices will begin to slowly level out in the next few months and become more affordable for buyers. In the meantime, it still remains very much a seller's market. Guys.
Jordan, thank you. The weekend's finally here, and I hear the weather will be perfect for a little bit of yard work if you can fit that in between football games.
Right. Yeah, good luck with that. You won't want to stay outside for too long, though, as we'll have some wildfire smoke hanging around. We don't want it to ruin our weekend plans. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker's here to explain.
Well, we've got a couple of things in our evening sky. First of all, some high and mid-level clouds drifting through. It's making for a beautiful sunset. This is a live look from our station here, but we also have some haze on the horizon, not only from some residual smoke from area wildfires, but also prescribed burns going on seasonally. We've had very little movement in our atmosphere, and that's trapping the smoke at the surface. Our air quality is not in terrible shape. I'll show you that in just a moment. First, I'll show you these clouds moving through. They look a lot more intense from the satellite view, but they will be breaking up later tonight, and we should have a sunny start to the day tomorrow. Air quality has been mostly in the good or moderate range. It's not until you get over around Wenatchee we've had some problems getting up into the unhealthy range with the Cascade wildfires putting some additional smoke in along the east slopes there. We will continue to see air quality in that good to moderate range through the weekend. It doesn't look very pretty with the haze on the horizon, but shouldn't be much of a health impact. Temperatures right now, 74 in Spokane, 70 degrees in Coeur d'Alene. We're in the 60s in Bonners Ferry and Pullman, right around the Spokane area. Most locations reporting in the 70s. Cheney, the exception, at 69, but everybody is above average, and it will be a nice weekend if you're heading out for some Friday night football or Friday night fun. Temperatures staying in the 60s through 9 o'clock, 59 at 11 with the clouds filtering the moonlight. I'll be back with your weekend forecast in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Chris, thank you. A teen girl is now dead and another is fighting for her life after Othello police say they were shot and crashed into an apartment building. It happened around 11:30 last night in the area of Sylvan and Rose Drives. Detectives say the 16-year-old driver was following another vehicle when someone in that vehicle in front of her began shooting. She and another 16-year-old were hit. 3 other passengers were not hurt. Police say no arrests have been made. Anyone with information about this shooting is asked to call the Othello Police Department. The number's on your screen, 488-3314.
You saw it first on 4 News Now. The calls to clear Camp Hope are growing louder by the day. The Spokane police chief is also calling the site a chronic nuisance and has started the legal process to close it down.
4 News Now was given the letter SPD sent to the Department of Transportation and Jules Helping Hands. In it, they cite rampant crime, public health concerns, and a fast-approaching deadline to shut it down before snow starts to fall. Esther Bauer is live at the camp with the city's new concerns and new expectations. Esther.
Well, the city says this new black curtain around the fence is a major concern because police can no longer see what's happening inside the camp. They're now asking Washington State Patrol to start overnight security checks here at the camp. And the new expectation is to have this camp completely cleared and shut down by November 15th.
The camp needs to go.
The Spokane police are now joining the conversation, wanting the homeless camp gone for good. In this letter, SPD says theft, drug use, defecation on business property, violence, and shootings are just some of their concerns.
Where there needs to be more conversation, and we're still having that discussion, is about the timeline to get that work accomplished.
The city says they're talking with DOT and the Department of Commerce regularly. What they can't agree on yet is a timeline to close the camp, which is why they're starting the chronic nuisance process.
It's creating an absolute circus with 600 people's lives in the middle of it.
Jules Helping Hands runs the camp. For her, the November 15th deadline,
it's impossible. And they know that it's impossible. This is all about elections.
She's blaming the elected leaders for not getting involved sooner and playing politics.
We lack real leadership in the city, and that's apparent by how this situation has been handled.
The situation is intensifying as numerous local leaders call for the camp to be shut down sooner rather than later. And the city says they also want this camp to be cleared because they believe the outreach that's happening here could be happening at other already established shelters in the community. And I did speak with the Department of Transportation earlier today. They tell me they received these complaints from the police chief and will respond by deadline at a later date. Reporting live in East Central, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
Esther, thank you. The stabbing rampage in Las Vegas shocked the country and left a Spokane family grieving. Maris Jordan was one of 2 people killed in Las Vegas yesterday during that stabbing rampage. Jordan's family still lives in Spokane. Her mother is a teacher with the Central Valley School District. Her father, a retired principal. The suspect, 32-year-old Yanni Barrios, is facing 2 counts of murder and 6 counts of attempted murder. Las Vegas police say 3 people are hospitalized because of this stabbing in critical condition. And late this afternoon, her family shared this with us. Maris loved the beauty of life and lived it to the fullest without limitations. She was an authentic and caring friend, a devoted wife, a kick-ass sister, and a loving daughter. Growing up in Spokane, she enjoyed sledding and making snowmen in the winter and watching sunsets in the summer.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Good morning.
Rise and shine.
Watch Daytime's #1 duo weekdays at 9 a.m.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. But one day, this lecture hall will be made of code. And though they're virtual students, what they'll learn together is real. A surgeon will be able to practice as many times as needed in the metaverse. before laying her hands on a real patient. Being able to explore a spacecraft is one thing, but the metaverse will let us go farther than any rocket can take us. In the future, students will be able to take a field trip to ancient Rome. And young artists can learn from a masterpiece. Farmers will one day use augmented reality to help ensure the best yields. And urban planners will be able to model traffic solutions to help decrease commute times. So while the metaverse may be virtual, the impact will be real.
I proudly served our nation and fought for freedom abroad. I never expected to see our temple of democracy ransacked here at home. It's so dangerous that MAGA Republicans, like Mitch McConnell's handpicked candidate for U.S. Senate, Tiffany Smiley, continue to question the 2020 election. Their big lie is a direct threat to our elections and our democracy. Join me in defending America. Say no to Tiffany Smiley before it's too late.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
Turn up the heat. The Commodores live. A musical experience you won't forget. November 10th at Coeur d'Alene Casino. Get tickets now at cdacasino.com. 70 million albums sold. 7 #1 hits. The Grammy Award-winning Commodores.
My son's name was Carson. He was just the light of my life. His anxiety and his inability to sleep caused him to purchase a pill from Snapchat, and we know that it's what killed him. Congresswoman McMorris Rodgers is bringing awareness to this. She personally reached out to me. She took the time to hear Carson's story. She has been driven in trying to prevent further loss.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rodgers, and I approve this message.
On the ground to second. Frazier's got it. And that's out number 3. The ball game's over.
It's official. The Mariners are just 1 win away from advancing to the division series, beating the Toronto Blue Jays 4-0. It's been more than 20 years since the Mariners actually made the playoffs.
The team has a long way to go, but this could be the Mariners' year. Let's send it over to Alex Crescenti for highlights.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here just yet. Because
I was just saying that I was getting on the bandwagon. Now we're saying no.
Well, it has been more than 7,600 days to be exact to the last time the Mariners were in the postseason, and for some, just getting here would have been good enough. But this team wants more, and you've heard it all week. They want to be hanging some banners at the beginning of next season, but they had to go through the Blue Jays, and they got off to a hot start. Top of the first, Eugenio Suarez is going to go opposite way into right field. Julio Rodriguez comes home from second, and Seattle is going to take that 1-0 lead. And if you're on the road in a hostile environment, that's exactly the start you need. The very next batter, it's going to be Cal Raleigh with a drive to deep right field. That's going to carry just out of there for the home run, and Seattle extending that lead early in this ballgame. Raleigh is having himself a week. He got the home run to send them into the postseasons a week ago tonight. A few innings later, same score. Suarez up to the plate again. Can't make the clean contact, but it's still good enough to bring in another run. And the Mariners now own a 4-0 lead. What is happening here? Pitching absolutely vital in October, and Luis Castillo was dealing this afternoon. In the 7th, he gets Mac Chapman swinging for the first out. Next batter is going to be Ramil Tapia. He goes down, and there's 2 away. Then, you guessed it, Danny Jensen gets beat by the heater, and Castillo strikes out the side. He goes 7 1/3 innings without giving up a run. And now in the 9th, Toronto down to their final out with a man on third, but Tapia is going to ground out to second, and that will do it. The Seattle Mariners take game 1 of the wild card round. So just a completely dominant performance from the M's, and they now find themselves a game away from the ALDS. They can pick that up tomorrow afternoon as Robbie Ray, the former Blue Jay, will take the mound for Seattle. And we're still about a year and a half away from professional soccer coming to Spokane. But today, the USL made 2 major announcements regarding the future of the club. The first being, not only will there be a men's professional team, but also a women's to go with it. COO Justin Padakis says gender equity was important in the league's expansion. Previously, the USL announced that Spokane would be getting a W League club that plays in the summer months primarily and is designed for college players. But this will bring professional women's soccer soccer to the Lilac City. Of course, the team needs a couple of owners, and that will be Ryan and Katie Harno, as they want to build a brand and put Spokane soccer on the map.
We're really excited. I don't think Spokane totally understands what this is going to be quite yet, because it's going to be a lot larger of a deal than people realize, having two professional sports, men's and women's, in Spokane. This is the first time that this has ever been done in the country, launching a men's and a women's pro team at the same time.
The downtown stadium is still on pace to open in time for the 2023 high school football season, and the men's soccer team is going to begin playing sometime in early 2024. And we've got a busy weekend of college football ahead of us, as the Washington State Cougars are going to be going for the upset win down in Los Angeles tomorrow evening. They're looking for their first win against USC since 2017. Eastern Washington Eagles looking to get back on track and in the win column tomorrow evening, but they're going to have a tough test against the top 10 Weber State team. And the Idaho Vandals are going to have their hands full against a top-ranked opponent as well, as they travel down to Missoula to take on the Grizzlies. Jason Eck and company looking for their 4th straight win. Great start to the season over in Moscow. Aaron, Kirsten, Chris, I'll send it over to you, actually.
Oh, well, thank you. That was exciting sports news. Your Saturday planner, a high tomorrow of 76 degrees. Hazy sunshine, but our air quality should stay in that good to moderate range. 63 is our average high. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Panhandle Carpet One, Coeur d'Alene.
Wait, what? Look who's coming live next week to America's favorite morning show. Gina Davis, Elizabeth Moss, Tracy Ellis Ross, John Stamos, and the one, the only, Dwayne Johnson live.
That's right.
All on ABC's Good Morning America.
Welcome to Coeur d'Alene Honda, home of the lifetime warranty.
Well, hi. Hey, I'm looking for a new Honda, but I heard some dealers are charging outrageous prices.
At Coeur d'Alene Honda, we simply don't do that.
We ain't no big city slickers with second stickers.
It's business as usual.
We are a family-owned dealership, and our reputation is far more valuable than overcharging our customers.
We want to be here for you today, tomorrow, and in the future.
And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
Check out our website at cdahonda.com.
Watch 4 News Now as the Extreme Team upgrades the Carl Maxey Center. What we're going to do is go in and get into the next phase of operation. That's going to be a new library. There's going to be a place in back. There's going to be a nice patio. Watch 4 News Now's Extreme Team, sponsored by Horizon Credit Union.
Create a home retreat with a beautiful hot tub or swim spa from Country Homes Power, your spa superstore, offering great discounts, special financing, all with professional delivery. It's time to relax during the Country Homes Power 75th anniversary sale.
It's a 4-day price crash. Today through this Monday at all 3 Cal locations, including their new dealership on Division Street. As Cal loads up the lots full of hot buys and is offering up to 110% trade-in value for your old ride. Plus, delaying all payments until next year. So you can get a new upgraded vehicle and pay less with incredible financing available now. Get your new vehicle this week at Cal.
The Lost Dahmer tapes. Next, Inside Edition. Never before seen video from Inside Edition's interview with the depraved serial killer. The intense security from the Inside Edition video vault.
I felt that I could keep their skeletons.
Then, I didn't know that.
Here's a great hack.
Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
Beautiful sunset tonight over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena, where the parking lot is filling up with Chiefs fans right now. Little bit of wildfire smoke that we are dealing with, and also some high and mid-level clouds. I wish they were in association with a front that was going to move through and bring us some rain and scour out that smoke, but high pressure continues. We'll have mostly cloudy skies mainly this evening, and then we'll start to see some clearing. 49 degrees for an overnight low. Tomorrow, hazy sunshine with a high temperature of 76. The clouds will be clearing, but we will be left with that haze. Again, our air quality still in pretty good shape. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. nothing to show you in terms of radar returns throughout the west, but we do have some clouds filtering through. They will not be with us for long, making their way over the dominant feature of our weather pattern, which is a monstrous ridge of high pressure. It's going to be with us all weekend. I just sort of fast forwarded through that because the only variation is that upper level trough that at one point a few days ago looked like was going to be having a bigger impact on our weather than it is. It is going to be heading to the east, however, as a very strong high pressure pushes that out of our way. We will have a brief cool down as we are on the eastern edge of that ridge, and that will bring in slightly cooler air, but we're still looking at temperatures about 10 degrees above average. Hopefully pick up the winds a little bit to help scour out some smoke. A lot of it has just been building up over time because we have had such a stagnant weather pattern, and we will again once this ridge of high pressure reasserts itself next week, and it looks like it's going to be sticking around potentially for a couple of weeks and maybe even beyond. Here's a look at your planning forecast. We'll be in the mid 70s for Saturday and sunshine, hazy sunshine, and then we'll start to see our temperatures drop a little bit. Monday night into Tuesday is when we'll see that change. 68, there's our big cool down, but then we warm back up into the lower 70s. Overnight lows, meanwhile, in the 40s through the 7-day forecast. Nowhere near freezing in Spokane, so we'll just keep going like fall is never going to show up, at least through the 7-day forecast. Aaron?
Chris, thank you. Like Chris was just saying, we're kind of waiting for that fall weather, but that doesn't mean that some people are not already thinking about winter.
Right, winter is coming, and everyone wants to know what to expect this winter. New at 6, Matt Gray is here to talk about how La Nina is coming back for another year.
Yeah, that's right. It's always the time of year where everybody's like, hey, how much snow we're going to get? How much snow we're going to get? And La Nina, that's the one where, well, it gives some expectations, right? Well, La Nina never left us this summer, and the Climate Prediction Center says there's about a 90+% chance for it to continue into this winter. Now, that would be 3 La Nina winters in a row. Let's do a refresher first. The La Nina phase of the Southern Oscillation climate cycle, well, what it does for us is it stacks the deck for cooler, wetter winters in the northwest, dry weather in the southwest and the southeast, wetter in the northeast, cold in the northern plains, and more violent storms and tornadoes in the south. Now, back-to-back La Nina years, they're pretty common. We just had that. And in the past century, that second year was almost guaranteed to be snowy, or at least an average year. But fast forward here to the 21st century, it hasn't really been the same. 2 below average years for snow, including last year in Spokane, out of those 5 opportunities. So it might no longer be a guarantee. You get to a triple dip La Nina, like what we're going to see this year, 3 in a row. That picture even gets a little cloudier. In the past 122 years, there are only 4 winters that were a triple dip La Nina, as we're calling it. 2 of them had average snowfall. 2 were not really snowy at all back in the 1910s, and only 1 year out of these 4 were significantly cooler than your average winter. So overall, there's not too much that we can take away from this. Now, look, regardless of how this year goes, we better be getting used to more La Ninas. I know avid skiers should be happy about that. A new study from the University of Washington says that La Nina is becoming more common and that human-forced climate change is likely a factor in that. Now, you can read why those scientists were actually surprised by the results right now on KXLY.com.
Matt, thank you. And if you're curious about climate and weather, subscribe to our newsletter while you're there. The Brainstorm delivers the forecast and gives you the context behind our local weather every week in your inbox.
President Biden is sounding the alarm over a possible nuclear Armageddon.
We'll explain why his own administration says that is not the case coming up. And earning college credit while still in high school could soon become a whole lot cheaper. See what programs Spokane Public Schools already has in place to help your child get ahead.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
This is it, the moment you've been waiting for. Game day. No, game days. More than you can count. And at Turf Club Sportsbook, we've got all the action. With real sports betting, wall-to-wall HD TVs, and luxury seating. Just off the casino floor at Northern Quest, so you can bet, watch, and win on every game day. Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer, only at Northern Quest.
Providence has been focused on meeting the needs of the community for over 160 years. And we are honored to bring you top-rated Medicare Advantage coverage. Providence plans start at just $0 and include dental, hearing, and vision. Experience the difference of a community of care, united by compassionate coverage. Providence. Join us as we make community stronger by building true health together.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
If you're looking to score big on the best lineup of new and used vehicles, then come on down to Finley.
At Finley Downtown Toyota, we've got over 3 blocks full of great choices, including the popular Toyota Tacoma and RAV4, perfect for the winter months ahead. And right now, you can also get great financing up to 60 months.
So if you're looking for a touchdown of savings, you can find it at Finley. Finley Toyota's downtown.
4 News Now is brought to you by Car Wash Plaza.
President Biden is issuing a stark warning over Russian President Vladimir Putin's repeated nuclear threats, saying any nuclear move by Russia could lead to Armageddon.
This is happening as Russia continues to face military setbacks in Ukraine. U.S. officials stress there haven't been any changes to Russia's nuclear stance. CNN's Mike Valerio has the latest and provides some context on the president's remarks.
It was a chilling warning on the increasingly disturbing nuclear threats from Russian President Vladimir Putin. President Biden telling Democratic donors in New York on Thursday, quote, "We have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't think there is any such thing to use a tactical nuclear weapon and not end up with Armageddon." The warning comes as Russia contends with a string of defeats in Ukraine and a loss of Ukrainian territory the Russian Federation seeks to illegally annex.
Putin has failed in every strategic, operational, and tactical objective he has set for himself over the last 7 months.
While U.S. officials said Biden's candor reflects a mood of concern within the White House, they add the president's message is not based on any new intelligence about Putin's intentions or changes in Russia's nuclear posture.
At this stage, we do not have any information that would cause us to change our strategic deterrence posture, and we don't assess that President Putin has made a decision to use nuclear weapons at this time.
Yet retired Brigadier General Peter Zlak says Biden's remarks serve as, quote, a wake-up call.
As far as nukes in tactical use, I believe that you use one, you've opened up Pandora's box. We don't know where we will go from there.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Brand new tonight at 6, the Uvalde School District suspended its entire police force for how they handled the shooting at Robb Elementary, where 21 people, including 19 children, were killed. According to the statement, the officers currently employed will fill other roles in the district for a period of time. This decision follows new outrage over the hiring of a former Texas state trooper. She was a part of the law enforcement response team who waited over an hour to confront the shooter. She has since been fired.
Health officials are warning people to stay out of one North Idaho lake because of blue-green algae.
How the community helped bring this situation to light. Plus,
Spokane Public School students could see less of a financial barrier when it comes to taking AP and dual credit classes, thanks to a new proposal from the state superintendent. Tonight on 4 News Now at 6, hear what Spokane Schools is already doing to help students access the classes they want to take, no matter the financial barriers.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
It's the new Coeur d'Alene Nissan Service and Parts Center. We're ready to keep your car in the best condition possible so you can drive with confidence. From express service to more advanced diagnostics and repairs, our certified technicians deliver expert service and advice. We also have an inventory of factory Nissan parts. You can personalize your vehicle with accessories tailored to your Nissan. Parts and service at the new Coeur d'Alene Nissan right off Highway 95.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. But one day, this farmer will use augmented reality to help ensure the best yield. Urban planners will model traffic solutions to help decrease commute times. Exploring a spacecraft in a museum is one thing. But one day, the metaverse will help students learn about the rings of Saturn. The metaverse may be virtual, but the impact will be real.
Change is just a part of life. As humans, we're wired to handle life's changes, big and small. COVID-19 is one of those changes, and it's sticking around for a while, whether we like it or not. Each new wave requires us to adapt, to adjust, but together, we will. COVID keeps changing, but so can we. Visit takecarewhat.org to learn how.
Democrats in Washington are threatening our way of life. Reckless spending fueling inflation. Shutting down energy production here at home. A push to defund the police. Kathy McMorris Rogers is fighting every day to stop them and protect Eastern Washington. Cutting spending to curb inflation. Unleashing American energy production. And making sure law enforcement has the resources they need. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
It's time for 4 News Now, Coats for Kids. Just drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate to Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Global Credit Union is very active in our community, and Coats for Kids is one of the causes that we love. And it's not only coats, we also accept cash. So bring your donations to any Global Credit Union branch location, and we'll purchase brand new coats for our community. At Global Credit Union, we love being a part of Coats for Kids.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
With a number of lakes in our region, toxic algae blooms are not that unusual. Toxic algae blooms at this time of year is unusual. The Department of Environmental Quality has issued an advisory for harmful algae blooms in Rose Lake,
warning people to stay out of the water entirely. Rose Lake is east of Lake Coeur d'Alene near Cataldo. You can see it here on the map. Tonight at 6:30, Emily Bloom explains how the community played a role in drawing attention to this issue.
There's toxic algae blooms in Rose Lake, and community members are not only taking it upon themselves to get the water tested, but to notify the public as well.
I have spent all my life out here in the summers.
Kate Bowerman does remember a bit of harmful algae bloom in the past.
The past summer has been just mind-blowing.
But none quite like this. It's been going on for the past 4 weeks, and she says no 2 days are the same.
Having a background in fisheries biology, I was like, why aren't we being told that this is blue-green algae? Blue-green algae can be very toxic.
Bowerman lives within a tight-knit community along the lake.
We came together to try to get answers because we live right here. Year-round, right on the shores.
She reached out to the Department of Environmental Quality.
She said, well, you know, it's the end of the recreation season now. We're just not going to worry about it. I'll come out in the spring. We're really short-handed.
Ultimately, she decided to bring in a water sample herself, and the DEQ tells me they appreciate these resources.
We can't physically be at all the lakes at once during the entire recreation season, so we rely a lot on the people that are there every day, seeing what's happening and calling into us and telling us what the conditions are.
After confirmation of the blue-green algae, they issued an advisory this past week. Bowerman is putting up these signs herself, and she says she's not upset. She's grateful she has the opportunity to be a steward of the environment. But with decades of history at this lake, it's tough for her and her neighbors to see.
It's heartbreaking, not to mention scary, for as far as health problems go.
The overarching message from DEQ is when in doubt, stay out. Reporting in Cataldo, Emily Bloom, 4 News Now.
The unusually warm fall has carried out the blooms a little far in the season, and it's your four-legged friends you'll really want to keep out of the water. It's incredibly harmful to them since they typically ingest a good amount of lake water.
Oh, you are looking at a spectacular sunset. Actually, the sun has set. It's been down for almost 20 minutes, but look at those pinks. A pink sky is my favorite. A little bit of purple. I love those colors. I wish I could just stay on that shot. But let's talk about 4 things you need to know about your weather. It is going to be an unseasonably warm weekend, gorgeous weekend, hazy at times from residual wildfire smoke, although our air quality is not suffering too much. No rain in the 7-day forecast. We do have some clouds drifting through, producing that gorgeous sunset. It's nice to have a little bit of character in the sky. Again, our air quality has been in the good to moderate range, despite the fact that we have had a week with that wildfire smoke producing the haze, and that will continue to be the case through the weekend with high pressure in control. Temperatures today, 70s in most locations. It did get up to 81 at Deer Park, 77 at the airport in Spokane. Our average high is 63. Temperatures right now still in the 60s and 70s across the region. Tomorrow, expect a day very much like today. Hazy sunshine with a high temperature of 76. I'll be back with your 7-day outlook in just a few minutes. Kirsten?
Chris, thank you. New at 6 tonight, dual credit courses like advanced placement and running start help high school students earn college credits before they even graduate from high school. But those courses can be costly. The test required for AP students to get college credit can cost almost $100, and that's per class.
Some students take multiple classes, so that really adds up. And AP isn't the only type of course families pay for to help their students get ahead. Bronte Sorotsky explains how a new proposal from the state superintendent would bring those prices down and make these classes more accessible to all students. Bronte.
Advanced placement courses can help students get ahead of their college degrees before they even get into college. But those classes have added costs that might not be accessible for all. Now, the state superintendent has a plan to try and reduce those costs. As Spokane Public Schools says, they already work to try to ensure students can take those classes no matter what.
I'm taking 4 AP courses, AP Psychology, Biology, English, and Government.
AP courses are hard enough, but for students to get college credit for them, they'll need to take a test for each class. Those tests aren't cheap.
Last year, I took AP English and AP U.S. History, which alone right there is just $200, I believe.
Those costs discourage some students from taking dual credit classes.
Because of the cost. Not a lot of kids and not a lot of families alone are willing to spend $100 on a test. And chances are the kid, might pass or might not pass. It's based on chance.
Spokane Schools is aware that these costs can create financial barriers and say they don't want students to miss out on chances to get ahead because of costs.
We want every student to pursue every opportunity, and then we, the building or the school district, will help and take care of some of those costs.
On Wednesday, State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl promoted a plan to stop charging students out-of-pocket fees for dual credit courses like APs.
So it's been a barrier in the past, financial considerations and costs for fees, and so we're excited that Superintendent Rakedahl is making this request to Washington legislators.
While the superintendent's plan doesn't change anything right now, Spokane Public Schools already works with students to ensure that they can afford the classes that they want to take. Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
We have a heartbreaking update to a story we told you about earlier this summer. We introduced you to 5-year-old Evelyn back in September when doctors in Texas told her mom and dad that there was nothing more they could do in her fight against leukemia. A special flight brought her home to Spokane to be with her family. And today she lost that battle and her family said goodbye. Tonight at 11 o'clock, we take you back to Christmas at Sacred Heart Children's Hospital last year. A blue heart lit up Evelyn's room and her dad first told us about her brave fight. A look back at 11 o'clock.
Around the nation tonight, a new jobs report shows that more than 250,000 new jobs were created last month. That's slightly more than economists expected, but is still lower than August totals.
The job market continues to show resilience as we navigate through this economic transition we're in.
According to the job report, unemployment rates dropped to 3.5%, with jobs mostly in leisure, hospitality, and healthcare industries. Experts say that's still not enough to keep the Fed from raising interest rates to battle inflation. More than 100 people are confirmed dead in Florida and North Carolina from Hurricane Ian. That number is expected to increase as search and rescue efforts continue in the hardest hit areas. Families and business owners are still working to rebuild their lives.
It was a 2-queen kitchenette room. So you would have your beds here, you would have, this was the bathroom. Completely gutted now. Completely gutted.
As you can see, the inside of this hotel in Fort Myers was destroyed. The back of it is not any better, with boats slamming into the dock and washing up. Oh, horrible. Crews are hard at work trying to clear out the debris so they can eventually rebuild. There have been some major signs of progress, though. Officials say more than 5,000 miles of roadway have been cleared and reopened, and more than 2,500 bridges have now been deemed safe.
We have much more coming up tonight at 6:30.
Including giving you a bird's eye view of one of the most popular places to go pumpkin or apple picking. I bet you can guess what we're talking about. We'll head there in this week's Air for Adventure when we come back. And before we go, because Chris said it's her favorite, that pink sunset, let's take one last look at the beauty.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Gamma Knife.
Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you 18 or older? Have you lived in Washington state for at least 30 days? If so, you are likely eligible to vote in Washington. Voter pamphlets and ballots are available in multiple languages. Your vote is your voice, and your voice matters. Make a plan to vote. Learn more about eligibility at sos.wa.gov and get registered today at votewa.gov.
This Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all 13 Walker's Furniture and Mattress stores are offering a double sales tax discount. Or get no minimum purchase, no money down, no interest for 5 years financing on all bedroom furniture, dining room sets, and beautiful living room sets, as well as big mattress savings.
This is one of our best sales events of the season. Today through this Monday night at 8 p.m. at Walker's. Create a home retreat with a beautiful hot tub or swim spa from Country Homes Power, your spa superstore, offering great discounts, special financing, all with professional delivery. It's time to relax during the Country Homes Power 75th anniversary sale.
This could be the view out of your office window. Link Transit, serving the picturesque communities of Wenatchee, Leavenworth, Chelan, and many more, is looking for drivers to join our team on some of the most beautiful routes in all of Washington. Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team. If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
I don't think we've ever had that in 14 seasons.
I will work like a lion. I'm a believer.
I'm going to make you filthy rich.
Let's go!
New Shark Tank tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Next DT, Christian Bale's mic drop moment with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, how unlikely is that, you know?
We're with the all-star cast of Amsterdam. Then,
Mr. Feeney?
Mr. Matthews.
Only we're at home with the beloved TV star William Daniels and his wife of 71 years, Bonnie.
How do you have a relationship that lasts this long?
Lack of imagination.
Next DT.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Here is our time lapse of that beautiful sunset. Can't get enough of it over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. You can also see the cars streaming in for the Chiefs game. That sunset made even more colorful by the wildfire smoke on the horizon. Actually, a combination of wildfire smoke with some prescribed burns and agricultural burning going on around the region. Our smoke forecast, definitely we still have some fires in progress. Probably wouldn't notice the amount of smoke they're putting out unless you live right by the fire, if it were not for this ridge of high pressure that has just kept our atmosphere from budging, and all that smoke is just gradually building up. As I've mentioned several times here, Saturday, 7 a.m., we will continue to see that haze through the weekend, but it is not having as dramatic of an impact at the surface, where our air quality is still in the good range in many locations and just barely into the moderate range in others. There is one tricky spot, and that has been around Wenatchee, Chelan, where we continue to see wildfire smoke from the Cascade fires create problems with the air quality. Numerous times throughout the past several days have gotten into the unhealthy range, and we'll likely continue to see that off and on through the weekend. We have a ridge of high pressure in place through the weekend. We'll see some minor changes as here's Sunday at 10 a.m. or excuse me, 10 p.m. as we get into the beginning of the work week. An upper level trough misses us well to the east. Thought it might be heading our way, but it is not. High pressure will take over, but we will be briefly in a northwesterly flow on the eastern edge of that ridge, which could cool us down a little bit and maybe push some of that smoke off to the south. Here's that big cool down. It is not very impressive in our temperature trend. This white line is average. That's down in the 50s by this time next week. We're going to have one day in the 60s and then start warming back up again into the lower 70s as we get into the end of next week. And the extended forecast for October 15th through the 21st is still strongly believing that we are going to have above average temperatures and below average precipitation for that time period as that ridge holds tough through the 7-day forecast and beyond. Meanwhile, good news for gardeners. I've heard from several of you that still have some tomatoes going and other plants. We are going to keep our overnight lows above freezing through the 7-day forecast. Cold days are eventually going to find their way to the inland northwest, and we want to make sure that every child stays warm this winter with our Coats for Kids campaign. To find out where you can donate a new or gently used warm winter coat, go to KXLY.com/coatsforkids. That is also the location where we will post the pickup locations. If you know a child who needs a coat this winter, we want to make sure they get it. So you can get the locations where you can pick up coats at that website as well. Kirsten?
Chris, thank you. Streets in parts of Spokane will soon be filled with color as the city wants to plant 100 new trees. They will be planted in the West Central and Bemis neighborhoods later this month. It's a part of the Spokanopy program, which aims to provide every person in every neighborhood access to trees and the benefits they provide. If you'd like a tree planted near you, we have the link to sign up for one right on KXLY.com.
The Cougs are 2 wins away from bowl eligibility. They do have their work cut out for them. Tomorrow they take on an undefeated USC team in LA.
It's going to be sunny. While you're waiting for kickoff, there are plenty of other big games you can watch right here on ABC. Let's send it over to ESPN's Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit for a preview of this week's matchups.
Terrific slate of games on ABC today. Start with one of the great rivalries in college football, the Red River rivalry. Texas and Oklahoma, a reeling Sooner team coming in here.
Yeah, the quarterback issues with Daniel Gabriel, probably not going to play. Quinn Ewers from Texas is back, but what do we learn about this game? Whatever trends you think you know coming into this game, throw them out. This will be one of those unexpected type of results, so it's always one to watch and have a lot of fun with.
Texas has had a penchant for blowing big leads. They did last year, and they've done it this year a couple of times as well. Ohio State and Michigan State in the afternoon, a game that you'll call.
Looking forward to that one up at East Lansing. This is one of those games where Mel Tucker, they started the season great, won a couple. They've lost 3 in a row, and now here come the Buckeyes. Remember this game last year? Got out of hand by about the second series. So want to promote the game and have you tune in, but
there's a danger of this happening again,
yeah,
you said?
Yeah, it may happen again.
You know, the Spartans, too, are going to have trouble getting bowl eligible if you start to look at their schedule.
Right.
And then the nightcap in prime time, Clemson looked great against North Carolina State last week. They're on the road at Boston College.
And Clemson looked like Clemson, you know, back to 2018, 2019. Best they've looked in a long time. Now they go on the road. It's always dangerous to go on the road. And Jeff Hafley's bunch just trying to look for anything. A big win against Clemson would help turn their season around.
Red Bandana game, the traditional game in memory of 9/11 at Boston College. You'll want to tune in for that in prime time on ABC.
Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. It's Shark Tank at 8, followed by 2020 at 9 o'clock.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Jonah here. Before you decide on an SUV, I invite you to see and drive the Volkswagen Tiguan. It's impressive and it checks all the boxes. A roomy interior, plenty of cargo space with remote power liftgate. All-wheel drive, that's important in the Northwest. Solid performance, modern infotainment system with all the high-tech choices. Check out the Tiguan at your nearby Post Falls Volkswagen, the home of 0000.
Watch 4 News Now as the Extreme Team upgrades the Carl Maxey Center. What we're going to do is go in and get into the next phase of operation. That's going to be a new library. There's going to be a place in back. There's going to be a nice patio. Watch 4 News Now's Extreme Team, sponsored by Horizon Credit Union.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
So, you like winning? Maybe it's time you paid a visit to the Kootenai River Casino in Bonners Ferry. Talk about winning. How about great gaming and off-season room rates? How about $109 a night for Kootenai Falls Lodge rooms and $129 a night for Riverview rooms? And what if those midweek rooms come with free breakfast for 2? Throw in some great new gaming machines and you've got a winner of a getaway. To book your winning getaway, call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs.
Spokane's hottest music.
Break me for so done with you, girl. I've been popping, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Hot 96.9.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
New tonight at 6. For most people living in Spokane County, when they think of apple or pumpkin picking, the first thing that comes to mind is Green Bluff.
In this week's Air for Adventure, we're giving you a bird's eye view as farmers get ready for the Fall Harvest Festival. Let's go for a ride over Green Bluff in this week's Air for Adventure.
Welcome to Green Bluff. It's the culmination of the whole season of growing all the fruits and veggies and preparing for the fall festival, apple festival, harvest fest. Just a giant celebration up here for the whole family. The whole area up here used to be what we'd call a commercial farm, kind of a traditional orchard where everything was sent to the packing house. And then in '76, around that time, the packing house closed. You know, these farms had been up here for hundreds of years that had nowhere to bring their produce. And it was a kind of a new revolutionary idea, agro-tourism, to do direct marketing, to sell your fruit directly to the customer. And some of the farms up here created some of the first agro-tourism in the country. The corn maze here at Walters, this is going to be our 4th year doing it. This year, it's in a new spot. So it's back by the apricots, if you know Walters Fruit Ranch, up on a hillside. It's probably the best maze we've ever done. It's super dense. A lot of people haven't been able to find their way out of it. If you're getting lost, this is the place to come. I've got a lot of customers coming this year saying it was pretty hard, they couldn't find their way out. If you get to the end, there's a sign that says, "Congratulations, you mazed it." That's how you know you made it. Corn maze here at Walters Fruit Ranch, it's free of charge. Anybody that comes up, you get to go in the corn maze, there's no charge. It's just my thank you to all you guys out there. We've just been blessed with the weather is unreal. Right now too, this weekend's gonna be great. It's warm, but it's not too warm. We're starting to feel a little bit of a kiss of fall coming.
Security video captures a little girl by herself.
How old are you, sweetheart? She's 3 years old. She's in the parking lot standing here by herself with a pillow.
She had blood on her. The hair is just sticking up on my arms.
Oh my gosh, there's blood on the front seat.
This Teacher of the Year just vanished.
Solving the crime comes down to a child.
What actually happened was extraordinary.
The all-new 2020 event, tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Chowila Casino is giving you the chance to win Monster Mash Cash. Here's how you could win your share of over $12,000 cash. Play your favorite games with your Sun Club card. Earn entries for Monster Mash Cash. On Saturdays this month, you can earn bonus entries while playing your favorite games with your Sun Club card. Monster Mash Cash drawings happen Saturday, October 22nd. Cash prizes drawn every 30 minutes starting at 6 p.m. Learn more at Chowilacasino.com.
Fashion and family fun, all in one place. River Park Square.
Agriculture is the foundation of our regional economy. The Washington State Potato Commission proudly recognizes our farmers.
Washington potato farmers care about the environment. They strive each year for more sustainable farming practices by using the cleanest energy sources to power their packing and storage facilities and using more technology to water their crops, lower their carbon footprint, and grow some of the world's best potatoes. When you talk about sustainability, Washington potato farmers are already there.
A tribute for our great Northwest farmers from the Washington State Potato Commission.
Are you ready for winter and unexpected power outages? Talk with the experts at Country Homes Power to find the best fireplace to protect your home, even when the power goes out. Like Valor gas fireplaces. Visit Country Homes Power today.
Granite Concepts. We doubled our size. Doubled our weekly output. Created even higher fabrication quality. Shortened the time to completion. Granite Concepts. Beauty set in stone.
Do you have an upcoming Social Security disability hearing? It's not enough to tell the judge that you can't work. I'm Eric Pinar. An experienced attorney can help you present your case and clarify complicated decisions. So give us a call for your free consultation.
4 News Now is brought to you by Chowila Casino.
Hi.
Give us some good news, Chris. We come back on camera and look at Chris.
News. Yeah, nothing but good news.
Beautiful
Nice
weekend.
It's the weekend. 70s.
Perfect for Green Bluff, as we just saw.
Where the air quality is good.